Yes.
Recording in progress.
Do it.
3, 2, 1. With the programming, I'm Chase Ingram.
I'm Captain America.
And along with me is Bill Grundler.
Wolverine.
And this is analyzing the programming of the 2018 CrossFit Regionals, the last CrossFit Regionals ever.
Let me wipe my tears.
I feel like I need that ceremony.
Wipe my tears.
Song. What is it? Will you remember me? Or the Boys to Men. What is it? It's so hard to say goodbye. Oh, rest in peace, regionals.
Oh, man.
How great you were, how your memory lives on, and how we will honor it in the next 90 minutes.
You know, we say that now, but I'll tell you what, when we were lining up for it on this, I mean, every year ramped up. I mean, just everything, the sport as a whole, you know, how the open was, how the games were. 2018, man.
2018.
Such a good year.
Such a good year. Before we get into that, we want to thank our partners of the show, Bubs Naturals. Get your bub on. Join the Double Bub Club. Go to bubsnaturals.com. Use the code GETWITH20 for 20% off every order every time. Get your hands on the greatest non-dairy creamer ever created by man. And that is the MCT oil powder that you can put in your coffee if you're lactose intolerant. Guess what? You get to enjoy the creaminess of coffee as well as the benefit of MCT oil powder, as well as double scooping some of that collagen protein in there for your skin, your bones, your joints, your hair, everything. Tighten that shit up.
Tighten it up.
Tighten it up. For you masters athletes out there,
tighten that up. I mean, I'm just saying. Tighten it up.
Oh, what were we talking about again?
Talking about tightening up them masters' bones and hairs and skins and joints and
that collagen protein. If you're going to use a protein supplement, and we know we can't always get what we need out of food because we're on the road, we're busybody people out there. If you're going to use protein, you must use collagen protein. The benefits of there go well beyond just getting your macros in for the day. And don't forget the apple cider vinegar gummies that keep that gut health in check and head to toe ready to go with Bubs Naturals. So go to bubsnaturals.com and use code GETWITH20 for 20% off. And as you're doing that, go over to element26.co. That's .co, not .com, element26.co. And if you're a master's athlete, go out there and get the Master's Athlete Starter Kit. Wrist wraps, sweat bands, pull-up bar grips, thumb
belt,
tape, weight belt, knee sleeves, one elbow sleeve. Maybe they got some mouthpiece in there and a headband they can use and just get it all. Because you're getting ready for the Live, Move, Work competition coming up on Friday. In fact, this should probably be releasing about a Thursday. So it starts today. It starts today.
Oh, yeah.
A little analyzing the programming preview on Tuesday. On Tuesday, of which we're actually recording this. But don't worry about that because time is irrelevant when we record these. But it starts today. So you better have all your gear check. If not, maybe you can overnight it. Who knows? You have till Monday.
There you go.
Go to element26.co. Use the code GETWITH15 for 15% off all U.S. orders. And maybe that gives you a little extra boost to have a good Live, Move, Work competition. And if we're doing that and you're going to be on the leaderboard and you're going to try to win some monies, make sure you have the proof to do it. And that's using the WODproof app.
And why not hang out with the cool kids? You get to hang out with athletes like Noah Olsen, Turi Helga daughter, Sarah Sigmund's daughter, and you see all these big names that are on the WODproof app. And the newest addition to the clan, the WODproof family, is Danielle Brandon. So she's on the team. I don't know exactly what she's going to be doing. I was looking at her Instagram post. She didn't even say exactly what it was she was going to be doing. She's like, things, big things are coming. So I can't wait to hear what those big things are. But if you want to be part of that group, to be able to, one, not only have the best video recorder out there, and some of the coolest people, and they are attached to all of the events that are out there, whether it's Wadapalooza or any other kind of regular competitions or whatever. But you can get on the Pro Pack, which is a access to a massive library and competition floor, community-based setup where you have 12-week programs of all sorts: running, rowing, gymnastics, master's work, lift work, strength work, whatever it might be. If you want to get better at that stuff, those are there for you to be had. The price of that is $9.99, but if you use our Get With code, then you get a 20% off a 3-month subscription to that. And they are getting ready to roll out their brand new edition of the Waterproof app. So get on it while you can, so that you can get awesome with everybody else. And then again, Danielle Brandon, duh.
Welcome, Danielle, to the Waterproof team. And that is exciting news from Waterproof themselves as we look towards, or look back on, the 2018 CrossFit Regionals. This is the 9th year of regionals, all the way back to 2010. This is the 8th year of standardized programming across the regions, across the world. And as we look forward to this, we want to look back on some of the trends that we've been talking about over the past few years, where up until last year, the first event was pretty grabby as far as attention, excitement, intensity. We've had ladders, we've had chippers, we've had 2 chippers in some regions or some years. I feel like we've had a benchmark workout every year since 2011. 2011, we had Amanda. 2012, it was Diane.
Yeah.
13, Jackie.
There you go.
14. Randy? No, that was 15. What was 14? Did we have one in 14? So had the front squat. Oh, Nasty Girls Chain
2.0. Volume 2 or version 2 or whatever it was.
15, we had a double. We had Randy and Tommy V.
Yep.
16, it was a version of Nate. 17, last year, we didn't have one, did we? Maybe 17, because it was a year of no barbells. We didn't have one. We had like a weird version of Fran, but it wasn't called like Legless Fran or anything like that.
True. That's true. Yeah.
But I'm glad I gave it 1 1/4 then. How dare you? Fuck the trend. And things we've also seen over the past 9 years was maybe taking a games workout and then putting it into next year's regionals, or a version of, I think last year's ours was the mini mod Murph.
Right.
That was event 1. But we've seen, like Amanda trickle down from 2010 to 2011. We've just had a few versions of things come in. So as we're working in 2018, we started to be like, okay, what to expect? These are the things that he's been doing. And then last year threw everybody off because we had no barbells.
Right.
1 dumbbell. Anyway, we never really used. So we're like, really? Last year kind of threw us off the scent, so to speak. So we had no idea what we were walking into. And when the first event got released, if you were to ask me what's one event they'll probably never do at regionals that they did at the CrossFit Games, other than an ocean swim, it would have probably been the triple threes.
Man, seriously, I wasn't ready for that one. I wasn't expecting that one.
Part of it too is because of the 3-mile run, right?
Yeah.
It's like, where are you going to find 3 miles of running in the venues at which they had? Like, oh, don't worry, we solved that problem for you. You're going to do a 3K row, 300 double unders, and a 3-mile run on an assault runner.
Yeah. Well,
of 49 minutes.
Well, I mean, and, we had the assault runners the year before this. So I mean, like, they were kind of pulling them out, kind of testing them out, making sure that they work. But I still I guess I was just thinking logistically.
Right.
I mean, we said last year what they missed in 2016 was a long event. The longest one they had was 20 minutes. We were like, okay, so are they going to put something where there's a long distance piece? And then they did the 1,200 meter run on the assault runner. Okay. So you got that in there.
Yeah, 3 sets of 400. So not exactly like what we would consider.
Right. It wasn't a big deal, but it's like, we said you have to, we made the point of you had to have a long piece to really like test that. I mean, usually that piece only really gets tested at the games. Mm-hmm. I would say that probably one of my least favorite events is the triple threes, honestly. Not because it's a bad event, but because of you have so many more options there. Right. But as much as I wasn't like stoked about it at the time, one on the broadcast side of having to talk about a 50-minute time cap about this event, but at this level,
yeah,
I was actually really happily surprised that they said, okay, regional kids,
yes,
here you go. Let's see what you can do, because that was not the case in the past years. You didn't have anything that had that sort of time frame on it and put you in. I mean, in this, if you do this event right, it is shitty. It's hard and long. It isn't like one you can kind of get into. I would say this would be more kind of the realm of, you get those really good marathon runners that can run miles in like 5 minutes every single mile.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where you're running at that level. This is the level that you can row hard, you can do double unders fast, and you can run. And you have to run fast. Yes. So everything is ramped up. So this is a very demanding and painful event, especially for the regional level athlete. Games athletes, I mean, they're used to this volume. They're used to that kind of stuff. But I think, regional athletes weren't used to this. So I thought it was an awesome addition.
And nobody trains long distance running other than really games athletes. Regional athletes don't, because they're trying to do events that are programmed at regionals to get to the games. Whereas game athletes are like, all right, I'll get there.
The long ones are in the games. They're not in regionals. And I'm not going to go 49 minutes at regionals.
Exactly. The longest time cap we've had up until this point was 25 minutes. And this nearly doubles it.
Yeah.
And you're right. There is no easy way to do this because of the runners that they have.
Yeah.
If this is just 3K row, 300 double unders, and a run, you could walk. You can't really walk on one of those things. Like you have to constantly be moving. And guess what? The slower you go, there is no benefit to that.
No.
It might be worse.
Yeah.
Worse.
Yeah.
And so it was brutal. And I'm really excited to get from event to event to event, because everyone looking at this like, well, what is this? It's just straight on a structural work. Running, double unders, rowing. What the F? Where the bar is this going to be another no barbell regional? I'm like, y'all calm the F down. It's event 1. All right. Event 1. We had triple threes. So here is our games event in the regional slot. However, this is not the fast and furious workout we've seen over the years, but this is an attention grabber. I'll say that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because of how long it was, because it wasn't the flash and dash, big explosive setup. And it was more, I would say, for the athletes, more of a, oh shit. It was that. It wasn't the big explosiveness. It was the, and that excitement of like, okay, now everyone knows that it's heavy at regionals. Like that's still, even though we had dumbbells in the last one, even though we've had that in the 2017 regionals, everyone still is on that game frame. So it's like you have to do all that work and then be able to go and lift heavy and still be able to lift fast. You just blasted everything out with this long, slow duration, long, miserable duration.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I liked it.
Welcome.
I liked it. So, and I like what I see here. Obviously, we have to judge the entirety once we get to event 6, but you start this, I'm like, okay,
yeah.
I'm going to see how we balance this test out, because this is a way on to one side of the spectrum of a test.
Yep.
All monostructural, and it's super long.
Yep.
So we go from event number 1 to event number 2, and here we have benchmark workouts.
Like it.
Linda, 10 down to 1. Deadlifts at 295 and 220, bench press at 195 and 135, and then squat clean at 145 and 105. And if you guys don't know, Linda is really based off body weight,
right?
As far as the percentages. And deadlift, is it 1.5 times body weight?
Yeah, it's 1.5, 1, and then
75
or 75. Yeah.
So we're like, okay, what they did is they basically took they have the numbers for these now, right? They have the average height weight of both the men and the women at regional level. And so they basically took that and made some adjustments to the weights to that. And so you have Linda, which is dubbed the 3 bars of death.
It's such a good workout.
This thing is not healthy for me.
Dude, I'll say this. I did Linda in the Globo gym way back in the day.
This was a very, very popular benchmark workout.
Oh man, it was, yeah.
What do they call it? The Iron Marathon? Well, no, there is an Iron Marathon, but this is the beginnings of that.
Yeah.
And so we take an event 1, which is 3 monostructural movements with a 50-minute time frame. We go to event 2, which is 3 barbell lifts, pull, push, and squat.
Yep.
With weight relative to body weight percentages based off your average CrossFit athlete competing over the next couple of weeks, and a 17-minute time cap. You're like, oh, wow. Just like that, we swung the scales all the way back to the other side. Now, like the gymnasts are like, what the my head. I didn't like event 1, and event 2, I definitely don't like. But what about me? So
yeah,
it's pretty fun to see that. No problem with this. This is one hell of a day 1. So far.
And if you guys didn't see this, go back and check out the YouTube stuff. The races were unbelievable. They were so good. It was so interesting watching so many badass athletes. And these weights, I mean, come on, the weights are not really that heavy.
No.
Compared to what these guys and these girls do. But we saw athletes failing on lifts, failing on bench press, failing on squat cleans, not being able to pull, like form just breaking because of how fast they were going.
Right.
And you got to figure it's 55 reps of each of those.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it was a good one. I thought that was talk about an amazing first day. Unreal.
Yes.
Unreal.
And I think your point of people going out so fast, because usually when you do this, the weights relative to your own body weight, depending on how much you weigh, are either extremely heavy or extremely light. And this meeting right in the middle, no one really knew, like you don't really use these weights.
Right.
Like if it was 315, 185, and 135 for men, and women 225, 135, and 95. Like I know these weights. I'm familiar with these weights with these particular movements. Maybe not bench press. That was unique.
Yeah.
But I know how to race and pace these weights. But you don't know how to race and pace this event because usually you just do the work. Like, okay, I'm just going to get from 10 to 1.
Yeah.
Just like most people would do triple threes, right? If you program triple threes for the gym, you're like, listen, I'm just going to complete this.
Right.
Same thing for Linda, for most people. So I don't think people had any idea how to pace that, especially when it came to bench press.
Well, and I tell you what, like every year there's some sort of experiment. Like, okay, how do you put this training piece on a competition floor? And bench press was one of those things. I mean, the only time you've seen bench press in competition is strongman competitions.
Right. So
now all of a sudden we're racing it. So everyone had a spotter, for safety's sake. What did that mean? What happens if you miss a lift? What happens if they have to touch the bar, grab the bar? And I think that they did a really good job of sorting all that out. I don't really remember seeing from the ones that we called or hearing any big issues or problems with that. Everyone touched. Everyone that had the spotter grab the bar had to redo that one over again. They'd pull it up and they'd have to redo that rep again. So I really liked how they set it up. It was good.
Totally.
And you're right. It was a big unknown for a lot of people.
Yeah. And it was really cool to see. So event 1, 3 monostructural movements. Event 2, 3 weightlifting movements none of these are really light. None of them.
Yeah, right.
Especially at 55 reps per. And then we moved to event number 1 on Saturday, and we just said the gymnastics people were like, "What the hell, bro? Where's my pitch down the middle?" And Dave was like, "Don't worry,
Right down the middle. Right down the middle.
Right down the middle." And here was what we have. We have 9 muscle ups, a handstand walk, 36 pistols, handstand walk back, 9 handstand walk 45, 9 handstand walk 54. So the muscle up stays the same. The handstand walk distance stays the same, but the pistols increase. Mm-hmm. And we have how many total pistols? 54, 36. So that's 90. So 135. 135 pistols.
Yep.
I think last regionals, but the one before, what do we have? 144. So the caveat here, though, the handstand walk was getting too easy, Bill. Getting too good at it. So Dave Castro comes out with an obstacle. One side is 4 stairs. The other side is a ramp down. So your handstand walk, one direction would be stairs to ramp. You turn around and be ramp to stairs. Mm-hmm. And here is your gymnastic only triplet. That is the third piece of the puzzle that we just tested. And in 3 events, I was like, wow, all the things we wish they did in certain areas that they didn't do. They did too much weightlifting or too much gymnastics and no barbell or not enough monostructural. In 3 events, they're like, boom, 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 triplet, triplet, triplet of every modality. And we're halfway through the weekend.
And it definitely called people's weaknesses out by making it very specific to monostructural, very specific to weightlifting, very specific to gymnastics. Do you remember Adam Klink?
Yes, I remember this.
First place to last on this. Not last place in the overall standings, but like he was in first place coming out of day 1.
Right.
He got last in this event because of the handstand walking.
And what did he just do? Right. We interviewed him. It was maybe a year ago.
Yeah.
First CrossFitter ever documented to do a 500-pound back squat in a sub 5 minute
yeah.
same day. So you're like, yeah, you crushed the triple threes because your endurance threshold is top 1%.
Yeah.
You have a 500-pound back squat, and previous to this, he was a little bit heavier than that. So you clearly have the strength. But what you can't do just got exposed. And that was
man.
Handstand walk thing absolutely ate him alive.
And it wasn't, I mean, we say handstand walk, handstand walking, and then that obstacle. I mean, now everyone does that obstacle. I see regular people in the gym do that obstacle. They'll build whatever they need to build
now because they're getting bored.
I know. But then it was like, oh man. And so, I mean, do you remember when that was shown? People started seeing it. People started making their own, like trying to come up with their own version of that to figure it out.
Easiest course of all time.
Exactly. Exactly my point. So, I mean, that just goes to show like where it was. And you're right, man. Event 1, 2, and 3, as far as missing pieces, there weren't any. Time domains, okay. Energy systems, okay, up to this point. But we have hit every possible movement that you could possibly need.
Yeah.
At all. We got them all. We got the M, we got the W, we got the G. They're all done.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's impressive.
Within those, you had different movement patterns in those. So it'd be different. It was just like row. It was rowing, double unders, and running. 3 completely different modalities within the format.
Yeah.
For Linda, heavy pull from the floor, bench press, and then squat from the floor.
Yeah.
3 different movement patterns. Here, pull on the ring muscle ups, push on the handstand walk, squat on the pistols.
I mean, pretty damn complete so far. Pretty damn complete.
Pretty damn good.
Pretty damn good so far.
I forgot about these events. I really did. I mean, now I see them like, how did I forget that? But
right.
I forgot that because I saw event 1. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's monostructural everything. Then barbell, I was like, I wonder if event 3, and I go, oh, I forgot. What a beautiful halfway point. Now, I remember us talking, especially when we were in Florida. Mm-hmm. where, I mean, if you could only pick 3 events and be like, okay, you guys have shown you're the fittest here. It's kind of hard to say that you couldn't do that with these 3. I mean, obviously you want a lot more variety, time domains, as you said, but and if you're in the top 5 after these 3, you're probably going to be in the top 5 at the end of the weekend, barring say like something weird.
Right.
But this was and that's what we say is like all 3 modalities and push, pull, squat, and all these other things. Like you really touched all the bases other than sprint time domains and things like that.
Yeah. Other than the time, I mean, you've shown that you can do all the stuff really well.
Like if you're just at a local event, you're like, hey, we're going to crown the podium from these 3. I'm like, cool.
Yeah. Totally.
I'm not going to argue with you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's I mean, it's a great setup.
Here. He's like, yeah, but you couldn't do Linda. And you definitely couldn't do the other 2. So you're not the fittest. Sorry, we didn't test your skill set.
Right.
Sir, madam.
I mean, if you look at a general sweep across, I mean, like we said, you hit everything. The only thing you're lacking is like, okay, where's your little speed setup? Yes. That's fine, but what are you going to do? What moves are going to do? What haven't we hit? What haven't we done?
Right.
At this point.
Time domain.
Right. So
what glaring fitness hole have we not plugged right now? All right. So we kick off. So that's the first 3 events. And then we move into the 4th event on Saturday. And then here we go. Something new, something I just wouldn't have thought of until it comes out at regionals or the games or the open. And it's 2 rounds, 10 power snatches at 175 and 125 and 12 bar facing burpees into 2 rounds of 10 snatches at 115 and 75 and 12 bar facing burpees. And of all the events I've seen as far as being mean events,
oh man,
this might be number 1. We said last year of being able to put your hands in the box in the finale was rude because then you had to go fast. But here, since it goes heavy to light, it also forced an intensity that no one, I mean, barring maybe just like, hey, here's a crazy idea, has really thought of or trained before.
Dude, the gasping fish over those burpees. Everyone was so dead on those last 2, on those burpees on that last set. I mean, you're right. The field hung together. The field hung together on the heavy snatches for the most part. Everyone's okay. They had to, someone decide, okay, I'm gonna do these touch and go. All right, and some of them would, but even if you broke them up a little bit, you weren't that far behind. That round 4 or round 3, when you got into the light snatches, now form is starting to go out the window because you're just winging that thing around, and the burpee is because now you're in the race. I mean, the flip flopping that everyone was now doing, it wasn't let me be as efficient as possible. It was just hurry the F up and get moving. And you just were seeing the flop back and forth. This crushed people.
Yes.
Crushed them. And it was awesome. And the way it's set up, again, all of a sudden now this is our fast one the fastest one we've had so far. Yeah. And the intensity gets ramped up. You talk about, that was the one piece that we were missing is like, where's the high intensity part? Not the long drawn out intensity, but that high blast. And this is it. And man, it just smacks everybody right in the face. Smacks them right in the face.
Dude, this was nasty.
Yeah.
So nasty. And the time cap's 9 minutes. That alone forces an intensity people don't want to go to. And the fact that it gets lighter forces people to go faster on the heavier part than they would probably want to, or sucker people into going too fast, knowing the separation on the back half will not be as great as the front half, because it's like, okay, save myself for the heavyweights. And then I really start to make my move. It's like, no, the heavyweights are now where everybody's fresh. So you're either great at them and you need to get great because you are going to run out of gas on the sprint, or you're bad at them and you need to push harder than you want to, which ends up hurting probably what you're better at on the back half. And there was really no best practice way to game this.
Yeah, it was, but there's no general way to game it that way. I think like you had to go, all right.
One thing you can just say, this is how you do it.
Total. I mean, you need to put the athletes had to put blinders on.
Yeah.
And not worry about what anyone else is doing to be like, okay, I'm going to get through the heavy snatches first. Mm-hmm. If I'm the big burly athlete, okay, I know the second round, the back half of this, the weight's not heavy enough to slow these guys down. So I need to make my move on the heavy ones.
Yeah.
If I'm the lighter guy, it's like, okay, I need to just hang with the pack. So if I'm doing, whatever, fast singles, or I'm going to do sets of 5, or I'm going to do whatever I need to be doing to contain myself enough so that when I get to the lighter snatches, it's like, all right, man, throttle down and balls to the wall. And I got to go for it because now I need to make up time. So it was very super individual, but the end all result was that it was bodies on the floor when everyone was done. I mean, it's that song where everyone just dropped time. Boom. Everyone's on the ground, just smashed.
Like they could have rolled the bars back into the starting positions over the people and they wouldn't have given a shit. Like, I would rather you roll over my face than me to get off the ground right now.
Yeah.
And there's one of those pieces that we hadn't had yet, right? We had a 50-minute triple three. We had a 17-minute high volume barbell. We had a high volume gymnastics, but none of them were high intensity.
Yeah.
As far as relative intensity.
Yeah.
We had this here.
Yeah.
And what I love too is like, these are two movements between a body weight and a barbell that are full range of motion movements.
Top to bottom every
Power
time.
Snatch,
yeah.
Floor to overhead to full extension. Burpees, floor to stand up and jump over to full extension. Just yuck. That's why I've never done this one. All right, we come to Sunday, and here it is, our chipper. So every regional has had a chipper of some sort, and this year was, man, it got gross at the end. So here's what we got. 50 handstand push-ups to start. We've seen that before. 50 toes to bar. We've seen that before, but it was 40, right? We've gone from handstand push-up to toes to bar.
Right.
And then a 50 cal assault bike. And you're just like, whoa. So push, pull core, boom, assault bike. And while you're on that assault bike, you can just sit there for the 2 minutes that it's going to take you, maybe 3, and just look at these dumbbells that are waiting for you on the back half. And you go from an assault bike immediately into 50 dumbbell box step overs with 70s in each hand for the men and a 24-inch box, and 50 for the women and a 20-inch box. And then you finish with basically a dumbbell rack and a dumbbell overhead lunge. So one dumbbell's overhead, one's in the rack position, 50 with the right arm overhead, 50 with the left arm overhead. And this was an assault on the lower extremities.
Oh my gosh.
Of these athletes.
Totally.
They're like, oh, we get a little handstand push up. Like the gymnasts, like the little guys, girls, right? Crushing it. And we saw that, right? It was like, okay.
Totally. Everyone came off the rig first. They were like these little dudes, little girls.
They're like, blast through it, get to the assault bike, and then they would not get off the assault bike ahead of anybody. Because 50 cal, it was 50 cals for both men and women.
Yeah.
Which is why there's a 5-minute time cap difference between men and women, which I like. I like that they extended the time cap. They made everybody do it the same. I liked that.
I thought that was
a lot.
If you're gonna keep the reps exactly the same, then you got to bump up the time cap for sure.
Or else everybody would get capped.
But man, dude, I tell you, I've done this one. I remember doing this one when it was coming through, and it is gross. Like the handstand push-ups and the toe to bar. I mean, okay, you can sit there and argue, well, the handstand push-ups is going to fatigue your shoulders for the overhead lunge. I mean, you have to have one arm up and one arm down. Okay. And the 50 toes to bar, yeah, it's going to fatigue your midline for when you're, having to support the dumbbells and the blah, blah, blah. Okay, I get it. It's there totally. But when you blow your legs out on the assault bike And then you need to step over these boxes with either 140 pounds or 100 pounds on you. One, it's awkward. Those things are big. They're bulky. They're all over your legs. They're bouncing. You're trying to find, do I step forward? Do I swing the dumbbells a little bit? Do I stay low when I'm going over the box? Do I try to sidestep it? How I'm doing it? All of those setups. It's so bad. And 50 reps is so many for that.
So many.
And then you get done with that, and okay, you already blew your legs out twice. You blew your legs out twice, and now you have to lunge 100 feet with that same weight.
Just holding on to those damn dumbbells.
Oh my gosh. I mean, the numbers really don't say how bad this is. Like when you look at it, it's a chipper with 50s. Okay.
Yeah.
It looks good. It looks easy on paper. This was not
like
nice.
50 to start with the gymnastics and the toes to bar and the handstand push-ups and the 50-50 lunge at the end. The 50-50 in the middle by itself is twice the time it takes the other two combined.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I've tried these step overs and stuff with dumbbells at that height, and it's dangerous. Dangerous. I fell and I didn't know what to do with my dumbbells. Like in our gym, it's like you do not drop your dumbbells in the gym. You do not drop kettlebells in this gym. Who the F allows people to do that, by the way? I had to drop a 53-pound kettlebell from over his head.
What?
Yes. I was like,
why?
Because that's what they did at his gym.
Because the rep is done at the top, bro.
Like,
so I need to take my hands off of it.
I was like, even if they're like, yeah, it's cool, bro. What human hears that sound and watches the kettlebell bounce around and thinks, this is okay?
I know.
Anyways, this was almost too much. That 50 cal step over was, I'm saying almost. I mean,
here's what I'm going to say. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying on that. And
I'm not articulating it the right way.
No. You are because like it definitely cut the field of who could handle these and who couldn't handle these. Yeah. I mean, there was a definite demarcation line of what was happening on this particular event. Now I will say, with the upcoming event, I will say that this is perfect.
Okay.
For the weight that it was, because if the final event wasn't what it was, then honestly, I think the weight is too heavy on the dumbbells for these because it makes them move way too slow. They're slugging through it too slow.
This was a slog fest. This is a slog fest chipper.
Yeah. But
and I was saying almost.
I got you. You're right.
It was a fine line of this is close.
Yeah.
And hey, it's okay to ride that line.
That's all right. No, totally.
Almost. We're not saying it's bad. I'm just like, this was almost.
Well, and I would say that's a fair statement because, like I said, of where that demarcation line went. Like, it wasn't that everyone can come in here and all do it well. And so what's the race? It's like there are people that couldn't do it.
Yeah.
There are regional level athletes that like they would get to the box to try to step up, and it would be like, it would look like that athlete you had, that member you have in the gym that you're ready to do box jumps. Mm-hmm. And they're on the irrigation box, the 14-inch irrigation box or the 12-inch. And they're looking at it like, it's really high. I think I can get up there. These are regional athletes and they got these dumbbells in their hands. Like, that's really high. I don't think I can get up there.
So before we get to the final, I have a question for you because this has come up before. So we have our thing with wall ball shots, male or female, it's 10 feet.
Right.
Or whatever it is, make it uniform. The box height for box jumps in particular has come up. And I said, at body weight, it should be different because men predominantly are more explosive than women. It's just like why we have different weights, right? That's just the way it is, right? It's why we have a 5-minute time cap difference because we're all riding a 58 cals in a soft bike. That's just what it is. But when you add weight to it, do you think they should still have a different height or that we should all be using the same height? So example, these box step overs.
Same
height?
Same height.
Or the same.
I say if you it is exactly the same as wall balls. We don't have a 9 and a 10. I mean, I know that it's out there. We don't have that because the scale of the movement, not the scale of the movement, the modification of the movement is done with the weight. We already have the weight with the dumbbell. So if you look at an event like Fight Gone Bad has a 20-inch box for men and women.
That's right.
Now, granted, that's a box jump when they're doing that, and that isn't even any weight that switched to that, but that's a volume level that a high volume event that they're setting up on that. So that isn't something that there isn't anything anywhere that falls into anytime you're doing a box jump that it must be blah and blah. But this particular one, because you have the weights that you're stepping over, if it was box jumps only, 24 and 20. Yeah. But with the weight on there, I think it should be you're stepping up on an object and the task is the weight, not the step. Yes. Now we have the weight and the step that we're dealing with. Yeah. So it ends up being different. And technically, if you're going to do that, put them back down and, bring that time cap down a little bit. Yeah. Because the women went over that box way faster than the men did.
I think it all should have been at 20.
I agree. I totally agree.
And this event in particular was no favor to the shorter male athletes. Oh, they got screwed on this one.
Dude.
Like they actually did.
100%. 100%.
Because the height of the box, the assault bike is like, yeah, but you got your handstand push-ups and toes to bar, homeboy. Like, you got yours. We're going to get ours. But if it was just 70-pound dumbbells over a 20-inch box, we would still get ours.
Oh, yeah.
But you got double not yours. Raised the height and added heavy weight. So I think for something like this with a box, because like you said, the weight is the priority, not the height of the box, just like a wall ball target, then they should all be at the same level. Whether it's 24 or 20, I think it's lower, honestly.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. Because it's not about the box. It's about moving the weight onto this object. It's the same idea as when they did in the games. They had to go over the haystack.
Yes.
They didn't change the height of the haystack.
No, they didn't.
They kept it the same. True. So, they shouldn't have to worry about that kind of stuff. But I mean, yeah, I think it was, honestly, I'll say this. I will say that was probably more of it's just what we do in box step up or whatever. It was just kind of automatic. I don't think it was thought of as, okay, we just want them to step over the box. Well, we always do 24 and 20.
Yeah, exactly.
I just think that's what it was. But
looking at
in hindsight, yeah, I agree. I totally agree with that. Totally agree with you on that one.
All right. Event 6. We have 4 rope climbs, 16 thrusters, 3, 12, 2, 8. So the rope climbs descending by 1 rep, 4, 3, 2. And you can use your legs. Is that correct? Or is it legless?
You could use your legs, I believe.
Yes, you could use your legs, but there are those hybrid ropes.
Yeah.
The thruster weight, 155 and 105. And this is a 7-minute cap, which is also extremely fast.
Yeah.
I think at first blush, when you look at this, you're like, okay, just manage my work and get through it. And then you see the time cap, you're like, oh, well, shit. I
can't
guess
manage anything.
Yeah.
There's no managing anything.
That's been decided for me. And what you have here is a good blend of high volume pulling with the gymnastics movement, and then the squat and press at a moderately heavy weight with the full rep scheme that we're using, which is 36 total reps with the barbell. A classic Fran-like couplet that we saw the previous year, but a little bit longer. And not much longer. Well, it was probably like twice, maybe 3 times as long as, well, no, that was 2016. Sorry. The legless rope, like basically.
Oh, yeah. No, I see what you're saying.
So a version of this, but it was a great finale. Good blend of the two movements towards the end. High skill gymnastics, moderate to heavy weighted thrusters. At the end of the weekend, it probably felt heavy.
Oh, dude.
And with the time cap, it was, again, another one of those maximum intensities and flirt with the line of failure as close as you could.
I think that this played into the classic style of regionals is supposed to be heavy. And it was. I mean, it wasn't. What was great was the athletes that were here performing made the 155 and the 105 look pretty damn light.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't the Fran where it's 95 pounds and these guys are getting like, breaking 3 minutes sort of thing. Right. It wasn't that setup, but it was heavy for most that were watching. Mm-hmm. It was like, there's no way I could do 16 of those. Yeah. No way. But these athletes were. And it was great to see them doing that. And again, like I said, the classic setup for regionals was it's supposed to be heavy. Open was super fast. Regional was supposed to be super heavy. And then the games is kind of your blend of everything. I thought this was an awesome finish. Amazing races. It was super exciting. Sure, it's slower than other ones that we've seen like similar to this in the past, but why have the exact same thing? I don't think that we needed to have a super lightweight thruster and rope climbs again. We've done that. This was awesome. God, it was so fast. They made it look so damn easy.
It was more like a methodical intensity.
Yeah.
Everyone was very deliberate in their movement for both rope climbs and the thrusters. Like, yes. Yeah. I think was it every 4 or every like 2 sets of 8, 2 sets of 6, 2 sets of 4,
something like that. Yeah,
like that. Yeah. And with 4 rope climbs at the hybrid rope, it was still 2 or 3 legless pulls, wrap your feet, reach and touch, drop, rest specific amount of time so as not to blow up. Because if you blow up your upper body, you're not going to be able to front rack that the appropriate way for 16 thrusters at those weights. And so the methodical intensity was they went as fast as this workout could be done the appropriate way. So it's like we did a rope climb, took my rest, did a rope climb, did that 4 times without coming off, went for it, did 8 thrusters, maybe dropped, rolled up, and then clean and went into the next one. But no one really like slowed down. That paced this perfectly within a 7-minute time frame, right? We're still talking about people.
The
5 to 6 minutes.
The idea of pacing in a 7-minute cap,
right,
is nuts. One, and I mean, you can boil this whole thing down to just a really, really cool pull and push. Like it's like I just love. I mean, it's different than Fran as far as the weight and the intensity. It varies a little bit, but like I see these sort of events as the crux of CrossFit. Mm-hmm. I mean, you listen to the story, the creation of CrossFit, and it was like, oh yeah, I did some thrusters and I did some pull-ups and it made me throw up. And then Glassman went to his next door neighbor and said, hey, try this out. And then it made that guy throw up. And so like that is the entire antithesis of our sport and what we do. So having those or a version of that setup, it's just no matter what it looks like, I don't want to say it's refreshing, but it's almost like a very nostalgic home pukey feeling. You know what I mean? Where like we all know it and it's just beautiful. It's pull and it's push. It's that simple, and it gets you every time. And it was a great way, I think, to finish a very, very complete weekend.
Yes.
Awesome.
Very complete. And there were some great races and meltdowns
Oh, dude.
at the end.
Yeah.
Like what people had to do. Because if you needed the points and you got to those last 2 rope climbs, you went irresponsibly touch and go. Well, not touch and go, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you just went to the bar and like, I'm going to try to do 8. I'm going to walk forward with my bar after 4, and we're just going to see what happens. And you knew you weren't going to get 4 at the end, but people were still trying to.
Oh, dude, you got to roll those. You got to roll the dice, man.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yep.
So awesome. And so we look back on 6 events. Your first 3 events of the weekend, triplets of monostructural, weightlifting, and gymnastics. I mean, you just covered every movement pattern within that. The row double under run, the deadlift, bench press clean, the pistol muscle up handstand walk. And then you come to event 4 with 2 full body movements in both body weight, which is the burpee over the bar, and the barbell, which is the power snatch. You went from heavy to light, so the intensity got more as you got into the event. And then we had our big monster chipper that was the 50s of this year, which was just, like you said, a slog fest from end to end. Even with the gymnastics, like 50 and 50 isn't just like, no, whatever, right? Like you get to 30 and like, shit, I got 20 more to go. Oh my gosh. And then you come into event 6, which is just that fast and furious classic couplet of pulling, squat, and push of, you know, as you just mentioned, something Fran-like, which is just a classic way to tip to the cap of how CrossFit really came to be. And when you look end to end, I guess 18 is my turn.
It's your turn.
Man, I know. I love the uniqueness of the first 3 events and how that was put together. Just the way it assembles, the 3 movements in each one, the different modalities and movement planes, and the way the push, pull, and squat, like that was just so cool. And the fact that you did it for event 1, 2, and 3, and then you come back in 4. The only thing, man. Can't look at this weekend and be like, they didn't do that. Right? I can't really look at the weekend and just be like, you missed this. You didn't do this. This was off or wrong or bad. Like, I'm having trouble here trying to talk myself out of a number. I've only given once. But I don't want to nitpick my way out of this. I'm going to give it an Element 26 2 thumbs up, dude. I can't sit here like even like, oh, the box height or this was too hard. And it was almost like this was a great full body test. And in 2016, which is where our first 2 thumbs up came, and we're like, what's the one thing we missed? Is like, okay, maybe something long, but we hit all these other movement patterns and different weight. Like, honestly, man, this may be the best year they've ever done. This may be the best year they've ever done. And at the end of a weekend like this, barring something like south of a 2-minute test, I would be comfortable to sit back and say 2 thumbs up. And even if this is like, hey, this is a 6 event CrossFit Games and this is who the best in the world is, I'm like, okay. I really don't have much in here to take away from that, barring say like a max lift. But in 6 events, as we said before, is like, I don't think those belong.
Yeah.
I'm giving it 2. I'm giving it 2.
I think it's hysterical that you took that long to figure that out, because as we went through this, I'm like, why even, dude, this is by far the best regionals that has ever been.
I just don't want to be casual too. Like I really want try
Dude, it's not a
find the
casual
hole.
2. It's a
Unanimous.
event 1. Hell yeah. Event 2. Hell yeah. Event 3. Oh, hell yeah. Okay. Got those covered. Event 4. Hell yeah. Event 5. Okay. Hell yeah. Event 6. Done. Like it is. And it's really strange after coming off of 2016 was so good.
Yeah.
2017 was so good, but weird. It couldn't be what it meant to be because of the testing. And we said, there are going to be years like that there are going to be testing years. It just happens.
Right. It's nothing wrong with weird as long as there's still some.
I honestly think there was a lot of growth out of that. I mean, I really think that there was. And this year is by far the most complete, the most appropriately aggressive. Every single one of the pieces that we did, if it was the monostructural, it wasn't like, okay, we're going to go for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
No, fuck that. We're going for 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to go for gymnastics. Okay. We're going to have you do a lot of gymnastics, a lot of muscle ups, and a lot of weird handstand walking that you've never done before on a piece of equipment that you've never even had your hands on.
Right.
Oh, and we'll throw some pistols in there too, but whatever. The barbell work. All right. We're going to have you do all the classic barbell.
Mm-hmm.
Deadlift, squat, or cleans, and bench. And then we're going to have you snatch. And then we're going to have, they're going to ramp the intensity up on that. And then we're going to have these thrusters. And guess what? We now know that you guys can do 135 and 95 thrusters. That's not enough. You guys do those like they're 95 and 65. We need to push that. And they pushed it appropriately. It's like everything was done everything was on the extreme side, but appropriately extreme to make the test, to get the right people to go.
Right. The almost thing that I had about the chipper.
Totally. And I think that, and this is what we saw, and we've seen this in a lot of regions, but I think this one called it out the best. Was you would see people that would make it to regionals somehow, and it'd be like, do you really belong here? Because I don't really know. Like, you're really good at one or two things, but I don't know if you really belong here. This showed you if you belonged or didn't belong.
Mm-hmm. I think
this was in that same region when we were all down in Florida.
Yeah.
This was Hayley Adams. When we first saw Hayley on the open scene, she was in the top 10 in that group. Mm-hmm. And we're like, wait a minute. Yeah. She's not supposed to be here.
Right.
Like it showed exactly who was supposed to be in the mix. And that's what I like about this is not about, okay, well, let's make events that everyone can participate in and we'll just see who wins. Mm-hmm. It was like, you got to be good enough to play. You can come onto the field.
Right.
And you'll be left on the ground, and the people that are supposed to be here will be finishing. And that's what this was. It was no holds barred, badass, aggressive, heavy, but complete and appropriate and right. It is by far the best regionals we have ever had. The last, yes, but the best of all time.
Dude, I really like the way you put everything was just a little extra.
Yeah.
Oh, you think you're good at endurance? Here's a 50-minute endurance test, bro.
Yeah.
Not a 25 one. Oh, you think you've got strength and endurance? Here's a 17-minute, 55-rep hellish test with 3 different barbell movements.
Yeah.
Oh, you think you're good at gymnastics? No. You're good at muscle ups. Yeah. How about the definition of moving your body in space to be able to control your body in space? Here's an obstacle course.
Yeah.
How good are you at gymnastics? Not handstand push-ups, gymnastics.
Yeah.
Definition of pure gymnastics.
Yeah.
Oh, you think you are intense? You think you got work capacity? Tell you what, we're going to go heavy and then we're going to make you sprint at the end.
Yeah.
See how you can sprint with no gas in the tank. You got to the second and half of event number 4 with no gas in your tank. And if you had gas in the tank, guess what? You were last. You were last. You couldn't catch up in 2 rounds because
No
it's only
way.
2. It was 3, different story.
Totally. Yeah.
Event 5, oh, you think you're tough? You think you have the mental fortitude and the grind? I sit in the pain cave my entire career. This guy doesn't feel pain. All right. Enjoy the assault bike and box step overs for the next 10 and a half minutes. It's like, oh, I'm just a classic CrossFit kind of guy. Yeah. Here's some mod rope climbs and a heavy barbell thruster. Oh, by the way, you got to do it in 7 minutes. There goes your game plan.
Yeah, totally.
Classic CrossFit. You're right.
Across the board, man. Across the board. Like I was laughing at how you were trying to justify it. I just like so instantly would have been like, Bill, it's your turn. 2 thumbs up. It would have been that fast. So Bill, what do you think of 2 thumbs up? 2 thumbs up. Like they were my thumbs were, I had to keep my hands down while you were talking because I'm like, just say it. Just say it, man.
Just like here, we'll do this. Like we kind of got in trouble a little bit during our CrossFit games starting when we started this because we were just like fun and loving. It's like, yeah, it was the best. You're like, that wasn't the best. That was actually the worst. What are you doing? We're like, sorry, we got a little wrapped up in nostalgia, right? And so I didn't want to do that, and I've only given one, and I was like, if I'm going to give another one, it has to be Head and Shoulders. And I was like talking my way through it and trying to talk myself out of it. I just talked myself into a corner.
Right. No, it was really funny watching you try to do it. I'm like, dude, just say it.
I was like, but
say it.
That was okay. That was actually great. And then, yeah. And then your explanation, I'm like, I'm going to run through an effing regional wall right now. It's got me so hyped up about these.
And I honestly, I don't want people to think when we're saying that it's, the nostalgic. Well, it was because it was the last one, and we just miss it so much, and it was such a cool. It's like, take this.
I was trying not to give it.
You take the year off.
Yeah.
Take the 2018 off of it, and you look at these events, and it's like the people that make it through this competition, put it in whatever year you want.
Yes,
they're badass. They deserve to be challenging the rest of the fittest people in the world. That's what this test was supposed to do, was get the right people to the games so that you have the fittest field competing. This year did that. Hands down.
I wish we had the old leaderboards up, which games
I know. Dang it.
Shit together.
Dang it.
And I would love to look at every individual region and see who the top 3 were and see who those names were.
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh, this rando.
Yeah.
They're obviously on PEDs. No, I'm just kidding.
I
remember Breton had a story when we did the 2018. Had I known we were going to do like 2018 games rush moments versus just like the year, that's why we haven't done any
right
regionals, because we've used regional stories.
Yeah.
His was watching Matt Fraser get like 6th in the triple threes. And it's like, I'm not impressed.
Yeah.
And then he rattles off 5 consecutive.
Okay, maybe he was resting on that first one.
I would say this regional, not unlike the 2015 CrossFit Games, which I would argue is one of the more brutal CrossFit Games ever. It had a lot of short events.
Yeah.
That games really made people think if they wanted to still be games athletes. Like, are you ready for this? Like, do you want to subject yourself to a weekend like this? I think this regional did the same thing for all those wannabe regional athletes.
Oh, dude.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because we're going to test you now.
Yeah.
Like, really test you. And I think I agree. 2 thumbs up. I also agree that this is the best of all. This doesn't even tie 2016. In fact, this makes me want to put 2016 down a peg.
Yeah.
For what it was at the time at which it came in, that was the best.
Totally.
I think if this was programmed in 2011, you would look at every regional beyond that and be like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Did we forget how to program regionals?
Yeah.
You use this one as the bar and compare all the other ones to this. I bet you get barely any 1 thumbs up. And for the time at which they were in, they were as good as they were going to be, because that's what we were used to. That was the demographic of athlete that we had at the time. They were the appropriate test for the time at which they were created. But now when we've come, and that was the hard part about 2018 kind of being the last year, because 2018 wasn't we made it, whether it was open, regionals, or the CrossFit Games. It was just like we finally got to where this sport is going to take off.
I have a hard time. I don't really have a hard time saying it. 2018, the culmination of the year, was the best programmed year, I think, to this point.
Yeah.
I'm talking hands down, open, region, games. And you're right. I mean, nothing is ever perfect. I mean, it's always about, trying to approach perfection. And it was at this point, at the end of the season, the entire season, where on the sports side, I don't want to say the company side, but the sports side,
yeah,
we were finally on the ball, not behind the ball.
Okay.
We were finally we were finally riding the wave, and we were now running on all cylinders. Programming was right. Competition was right. The broadcast was right.
Yeah.
Everything was done right. The pieces were put in place correctly. The puzzle pieces were put together correctly. The right puzzle pieces were put in the right places correctly. It wasn't just, we'll put something in there. We'll put an event in there. We'll put a person in there. We'll put this over here.
Right.
It wasn't haphazard. It was everything lined up perfect. And I mean, again, we've done the Open. The Open was one of my favorite years that year. The region, this by far, without a doubt, is my favorite region. And even if you go back to our game stuff, 2018 was my favorite games.
Dude,
it's just an amazing year.
Let's just go. I'm just going to try to do this in 5 minutes. Listen to the season that was 2018. Starting from the Open. 18-1. AMRAP in 20 minutes, 8 toes to bar, 10 dumbbell hang clean and jerks, 14 cal row.
That was a good one. I remember that one.
Event number 2. The dumbbell squats and bar facing burpees.
Oh, that was a brutal one too.
Straight into the 1 rep max clean. Oh, that dumbbell burpee one was awful.
Dude, so
Event
bad.
3, 2 rounds, the 100 double unders over at squats, double unders ring muscle ups, double unders dumbbell snatches, double unders bar muscle ups. Kitchen sink chipper. Event 4, handstand walks, or Diane into the deadlift handstand walk, 225 and 315 and 225.
Yeah.
Got handstand walks in the Open. And then event 5 was the repeater of the thrusters and pull-ups that everybody voted for.
Yeah.
We just went through regionals. CrossFit Games, day 1, crit.
Yeah.
Bike race. Event 2, 30 muscle ups for time. Event 3, CrossFit total. Event 4, marathon row. Event 5, battleground. Clean and jerk speed ladder. Fibonacci final. Madison triplet, swim, paddle, run. Chaos.
Yeah.
Bicouplet 2, snatches and bar muscle ups. Bicouplet 1, snatches and chest to bar pull ups. 2-stroke pull, run, assault bike, sled pull, handstand walk, obstacle course, and then Aeneas, pegboards, thrusters, and an ascending yoke carry.
Best year ever.
2018 from top to bottom was the best freaking year.
Best year ever.
That's a 2 thumb up year, bro. And we don't have any of those.
No. No.
The only problem we had was the clean.
Yeah.
It's the way it was set up. The way it was
right. The way it was scored. That's right.
No problem
not
with
the event, not the programming. Yep.
I didn't get it 2 thumbs up. I definitely didn't give it 2 thumbs up if there was a 1 rep max in the Open. But damn.
I mean,
what a year.
Yeah.
I think that's why everyone was so pissed off, because maybe even people who didn't really know how good the year was top to bottom with programming and coverage and athletes and everything. You still at some base level, maybe inadvertently understand how great the year was because everything was so good. The programming was phenomenal. The coverage was second to none. The best coverage they've ever
had. Ever. Ever.
before and after.
Yeah.
And that was the regional coverage.
Yeah.
Which was on CBS. The regionals were on CBS.
Yep.
And the next year, the Open was going to be. They're going to do a docuseries of the Open of athletes going from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. And then the games, I mean, we just went through the events. I mean, were all of these almost on our top bracket of the nation one?
Yeah.
Battleground was, Fibonacci was, Chaos was, Two-Stroke Pull was, Aeneas. Like all those were on there. The Marathon Row was freaking on there. Not on my list, but
it was on mine.
It was 1 to 3 in that department.
You're in a jacuzzi somewhere, so whatever.
Man, what a year.
Yeah. Wow.
What a year. All right. Give us your memories of 2018. Hit us up. Hit us up in the comments on this YouTube. Hit us up in the comments on our Instagram. Email us, officialgwp@gmail.com. If you guys support us on Patreon, throw it in the comments. You can message us there too. There's a lot of ways you guys can get to us. You can get to us personally. Got
totally.
At Bill Grundler on Instagram. I'm at Chase_Ingram on Instagram. Our Instagram page here, _the programming. We are here for you. Let us know what you thought. Let us know. You got our answer. 2 thumbs up. Top to
2
bottom.
thumbs up.
Top to bottom. Happy Thursday, everyone.
Yeah.
Hope you listen to this before the live, move, work, because right now I'm going to do it now. Unfortunately, it's not a Thursday when I'm recording this. I'm fired up now. I really am. That was awesome.
That was good.
Gosh, that was awesome. Oh, the deal. That was it. That's the end.
Yeah.
That's the end of regionals.
So now we got sanctionals.
Now we got sanctionals in 2019. So what we'll do on that episode is we will go through every event that was programmed and do a Programmatron special. We won't even do a preview. We're just going to do a Programmatron episode. You're not even going to get a preview. Sorry. If you want to hear our thoughts on 2019, go to patreon.com/programming. And for $6, you can hear my 6th rep or 6th event sanctioned event and Bill's 6th event sanctioned event. And that's the only place you're going to be able to hear 2019.
Oh, man.
And 2020. Because after this, what's the point of tarnishing an entire show of analyzing the programming on regionals after 2018? What's the point?
I mean, I don't even think you can.
Can't.
It's that good.
The only thing we're going to do is take 10 different events or competitions and try to make our own.
There you go.
Maybe it won't work. It's great. But I'm excited. I am excited about doing that after 2019. That's always fun to do.
Totally.
There. Standardized it.
Yeah.
There. Fixed it.
Jeez, I got to go.
Love
I got to go and find all those things. Okay.
I know. I got to look them up. Maybe I'll hit up Chad.
Yeah.
Dear Chad. Dear Chad's brother. The beard of wisdom in all things stats. Be the symbol. I know this is probably an easy task for you.
It'll take me 5 hours.
You have an actual job you get paid for, but be a buddy and this crap together. For an episode you won't even probably hear.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh, all right, everybody. If you guys are doing the lift, move, work event today, good luck. If it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, have some fun. Maybe you repeat it. This is worth repeating. Maybe
you could easily do it.
Easily. This ain't going to break you off, which, hey, another benefit of the programming that they had. Well done.
There you go.
Well done, CrossFit Games. Well done on
Yes.
2018. Bill.
Sir.
Bye-bye, regionals.
Bye, regionals.
Bye, everybody.